Educatedcollins Hearthstone. How you doing? Hello everybody, welcome back to Educatedcollins Hearthstone channel. We're doing another post review. This time we're playing Cookie. Let's get right into it. Didn't really get to see what options we were, but Cookie was the best by far. There's no argument about that. Honestly, it's a good hero. It does have kind of particular downside with the low armor, but generally still pretty strong hero here. We go for the Naga. Naga gives you a coin. I think this is pretty telegraphed. There's no real differences in this play. So we do have a mirror match, so we're not taking damage, which is always nice with the Naga start, right? It's not the strongest hero to start with. Here, you can start thinking about leveling if we want, not leveling, but staying on one, but decide not to, obviously. Leveling just gives you that consistency. If you stay on one, it's a whole different game plan with a different curve, but honestly, in quest meta, you need a really good reason to stay on one, so decide not to do that. Here's a really important turn. Did we get a good roll? Honestly, the rolls aren't horrible, but they're not super great either. I could definitely see myself leveling. Yeah. Okay, so we are gonna go level. Maybe eat the mech. Gonna eat the undead for the undead giver. Yeah, but I guess I was looking for briny. But you could have also hit the 1/1 undead that gives you a minion. Getting it super early is really powerful. So that was a decent shot, right? Briny means there's some game plan here. It also means we didn't lose the fight. Leveling the 3 didn't lose the fight. Cookie is one of the few that can do that. I'm pretty sure I want to force the pirates, so I'm gonna skip this roll. But here, cookbook. I really feel like cookbook's too slow, especially if it isn't like super obvious. Like, oh, you can instantly trigger it. So decided to just go for some tempo. Mechs are in. And I honestly, let's go back to the choice here, right? End your turn with unspent gold. I want to roll for briny pirate anyways, and mechs are in, so you can hit any magnetize, and it's really good. Honestly, think this quest is really easy to do considering that mechs are in. So, the 9 pirates, 9 or beasts, mechs are in, so cookbook is strong, but the issue there is that it's just going to take way too long. Just going to take way too long to proc it. So I think I just went with the red hand. I think it makes a lot of sense here, considering the situation. I needed to roll anyways. I needed to roll for a pirate so that my briny pops. So it just made sense here. So these are cool, but they're not a pirate. So I have a couple. I have an extra roll, right? So now I see 2 pirates, depending on which one. I end up going for this one just because the 4-2 is kind of very similar in stat lines, but you don't get the +3 attack. So, it's free attack here, and see if it's relevant. Pretty good hit for us here, I would say. So we're just looking at the opponent's quest, and we got a tie here, which I was really happy about. It wasn't that confident a tie. We hit a second briny. So we're chilling, right? Obviously, we still need to end our turn with unspent gold. So we could either go for something here and not use our corn, or we could roll. Deciding to roll, I just wasn't super happy with some of the options, and then ending our turn. So we have 2 options here, either the gunpowder or the 3/3. I think I went with the 3/3. I don't think the gunpowder is bad. So what I'm doing here is I realize my quest is going to proc, so I wasn't going to play either of these minions. So I'm like, what would I rather have in my hand? I'd rather have the magnetize in case I hit a good mech. Then I can pop it on the mech immediately, and we're already really strong. So that's the idea here. I wasn't going to play either of those minions since our quest was going to proc, so went for the magnetize, and hopefully we find something to make that pay off. So that's the idea. So immediately rewarded with a deflecto. So that was a really fortunate for us. So we're in a great spot. We can level, we can buy the deflecto. The only downside here is that we don't have another target, right? There's no way we should not use our red hand here. So one thing we can do is hero power trigger our minion. So we take the other magnetize, right? So we can start seeing, now this allows us to play both of our cards, and we have another magnetize in our hand to take advantage of. So really nice setup here, using Cookie's power, using our good quest, and just taking full advantage of our strengths. So we should be pretty safe here for a while. A huge deflector is going to carry you very, very far. Opponent does have an annoying deck, but we're still big enough to not worry too much. Definitely, he could have tied here, which I think is crazy, right? Considering how strong we are, he could have tied. Maybe even won if the fight was better for him, but we're still pretty good here. So now, I would say we're pretty committed to mechs because our start is very good. The other cards we have aren't really giving us super direction. All we have right now is the money from the briny, but that's not like enough to say, oh, you're playing pirates. So I'm just getting a reset, right? I think that's going to be pretty powerful. And we're just rolling, trying to find good stuff. We find a scrapper, which I think is really core for this type of deck here. So we're going to keep stacking our deflecto. I don't have any problems with that. We haven't hero powered yet, but we're going to hold the Annoyal module in our hand, and we're just probably going to hero power something randomly. So we just go for the undead. Honestly, maybe the Naga's better because it has a better chance of getting you economy, but all in all, it's not that big of a deal. So we're just kind of looking. So I feel confident. So I feel very confident in our position. So I'm scouting here. I'm just looking through the rest of my opponents, trying to figure out what are their game plans, what are they running, what do I have to start looking for, right? A lot of times you're playing the game and you don't really pay too much attention to what your opponent is doing. But if you're feeling good, you're feeling well, now you're thinking, okay, we can win this game, right? So what could make us lose? So we're just looking. Kitty has undead. This player has some weird combination of cards, honestly. He's kind of buffing up his Xylo bones, but he has this courier that's got a couple of procs on it as well. So not something I'm like super aware of, like what composition he's running. Obviously, he's not super weak because he looks like he beats us here, which, you know, is a shame. And we do take some damage, but we're still okay. It's a little bit scary now, right? We're in the bottom 4, but I still like our position. I still like our strategy, so we're not gonna panic too much from this. So magnetizers are still pretty powerful. Something we're looking for is like a second deflecto. A lot of magnetizers here. I was really considering whether I wanted to skip this, like if this was like worth staying on, like worth and not rolling down for like other like core cards, right? Because if we look at our board kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. Like, no offense to my board, but it's just a deflecto and a reset and then another mech, and that's it, right? We have the brinies, which aren't bad cards. I was really considering the Peggy here. I wonder if I got it right. I did take the Peggy out because I don't have enough things that do stuff, and if I can buff up this these brinies, that might be good enough to keep. It's still early enough in the game that it's not kind of a throw, and Peggy's with this hand are giving you a lot of stats for free, right? So I'm getting coins for free, I'm getting these magnetizers that I'm keeping, so there's a lot of like little things that I should be getting. So I was just hoping that, okay, it's a 3 gold investment, but if the brinies get big enough that I'm keeping them, then it's pretty good. So that was the idea there. Fortunately, our opponent is not too strong. He was focusing on scaling, even though he's pretty low in health, right? So kind of a risky scaling idea for him, but we're able to win this fight here. Now we're up against the Alec here. We find the triple, which I do think is pretty interesting because we can level. I think the level makes sense here. I could definitely get out of this. Yeah, this blood scale needs to go. Okay, so we are selling that. And then we do find the beatboxer, so that is super good for us because we are buffing these magnetizers. That's our game plan. So all these buff magnetizers will get extra procs. There's a free. So we're eating the mech, it looks like, but there's also a free. We'll definitely take the magnetize. There's a free +1/+1, which doesn't really matter, but I have to do it. So we're going for this upbeat because our hand is pretty. Our board is pretty weak, so we have, our board is strong, but we have empty spaces. What I mean to say, so there's a good chance we can just put this upbeat and let it proc. I'm trying to copy the upbeat because the beatboxer. I'm trying to copy the beatboxer because it's really good with our current strategy. Our opponent has this reborn poison, which is pretty scary. Fortunately, it didn't snipe something super critical. So we look fine here. But something to look out. He has his own mech cards as well that we have to be aware of. See if people are transitioning into mechs, things like that. Right? Mech's not as popular as it used to be, but it's something to be aware of. Other people are taking your pieces. It could ruin you or mess you up a little bit. But yeah, we're still pretty good. We're not losing too much health anymore, which was a little bit of concern, right? We were super behind, but now we're a little bit more comfortable. We have this upbeat, likely to proc next turn if we can keep it on the board, but we do have too many dead cards that I think it would be rare for us to not have something. So yeah, another module is a good pickup because if we can get the second copy, then we can give them both taunt. That could be something to do. So you can see I already positioned. I was really thinking about getting the second one, but I was like, that's too troll, right? it's too troll. We are picking up every magnetize because magnetizers are really good. With double beatboxer, it's going to be really effective. And we have all this coins. So we're just eating a mech, rolling it, trying to find something. There's another upbeat. Could add a golden one, copium, but it's all good. A lot of brinies also that we're seeing, but we're just going to use our money. I just think we want to make sure that we are as strong as possible at this point. So this battle cry I think was pretty good. I think I'm considering getting it. No, I skip it. Wow. I mean, okay, I can see the rationale for that. It's not like I'm really going to keep that briny, right? That briny is going to leave. The issue with the briny right now is that it forces me to keep another pirate on the board, right? So the Peggy, right, was doing a great job, but it's being forced to be kept, which isn't that good. So and considering the fact that I'm about to get a second copy of the beatboxer, I don't want to be committing super duper hard here. But yeah, it's looking a little bit rough, right? So we do lose this fight, not by super large amounts, but this is the same person I lost to the first time, and he scaled enough. I was kind of ripping on him, but he scaled enough to beat me the second time. Okay, we do find a second deflector. That's huge. So it does mean that we can now have some scaling. Yeah, so I'm selling things. I'm committing, leveling as well, getting this deflecto. I could have maybe gotten an extra proc on this 30-25, but it's very likely I don't. So I do buy the cleave. I am fully committing on using all of our resources. Taking that damage this turn just scares me. We're definitely in kill range. We're against a pretty good player. Not a player, but well, I don't know, right? But pretty good hero for the late game. I'm not insulting the player at all. Sorry. But yeah. We're just trying to set up, try to be strong, so that we don't lose early. This is something that I have seen a lot where some people just don't realize how risky of a position they're in, and then they just kind of die. That's happened to myself as well. So we're just trying to be as strong as possible, putting our procs in, and we definitely need to put the Corotron. So I'm deciding not to. Okay, yeah. So I'm selling that as well. Okay, so we're going for Reaper. We're going full in. I think this was a mistake, right? I definitely did not need to play that second Anoyo module. I was just scared here. I was just like, oh my god, we lost the last fight. I didn't think we could lose. I need to be strong. Let's go all in. I really didn't need to play that second Honoro module. It doesn't do enough, in my opinion. So I'd rather just get that extra 12/12 for the next turn. So that was kind of a mistake here. So I was maybe thinking that I was gonna proc my scrappers and get something to replace it, but that didn't happen. So I would just say not to play here. I wasted 12/12, and it's a huge waste because I'm also losing that stats on the beat boxes, right? Those beat boxes would have also gotten the 12/12 stats. So I was just being a little bit too scared, overestimating my opponent here, and wasted some resources for the late game. But sometimes you need to do that. I just think in this position, like I'm not getting that much of an advantage by doing it, so it wasn't as necessary. Our opponent isn't weak though, like, to be fair. Definitely not a weak player here, but unfortunately we are on 5, right? No, we're on 6, so he does take enough. Even on 5 he'd still lose, so you know. Sometimes you're scared and you play it too strong and your opponent dies because of it. Now we're against the dead guy, which is good for us. We don't get our 12/12, which sucks. I did not really. Okay, so yeah, not getting baited by the triple double utility drone, which I think is really powerful in this deck. Right, we've played a lot of magnetizers, so we have a lot of economy. So I'm hoping we can get a triple here, but I'm not gonna skip a magnetize. These magnetizers are really powerful because you're getting them 3 times. Oh, we get feels good. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, you got it. It's so nice to get that. I think we just take the Admiral, just in case we might need to, get a free pirate or something. So we're gonna sell, but okay. So we are selling. Yeah. So we're full committing to the utility drones. That's the idea here. I know this does nothing, but you still do it. And then we put in the 2 Accordotrons. I'm pretty sure, yeah. The Accordotrons are really powerful because they're proccing 3 times. So it means every turn we're getting 6 gold. No, yeah, 6 gold from those 2 cards. So it's really nice. So I mean, this is like some of the power of the combo. If you set it up right, the scaling becomes insane. And one thing we're missing, one thing we haven't gotten is menaces, right? That's something I was thinking about at this point. I'm like, where are menaces, right? We've gotten a ton of magnetizers, and I think at this point I'm deciding to roll it down because not having a reset in this deck is just a way to lose. It's just a huge way to lose. So I'm just like, okay, we have so much gold, we need menace. So I'm just like, all right, let's roll it down. Rolling, looking for menace. We'll eat up mech if we see it. Yeah, there it is. And we're rolling. And I'm just like, where's menace? Where's menace? That's basically what's going on here. It's our core thing. That is a pretty decent card, but it's hard to play and it's not a menace. That, once again, normally you take that, but it doesn't help us here. The triple I think is fine here. It does give us less like easier targets for him to Leroy, but I think it's fine. Here we just go for the extra gold, extra economy, go for the reef. We could just roll. So we're still looking for menace. At some point I'm deciding, okay, if we can't find it, we'll get a reset. So Durkari though, Durkari is really good. I can't skip that, I think. Yeah, so we take that. It's just really good here. And there's some bait. You'll get weaker by buying that Deflecto, so it's not really something. But yeah, we're looking for menace, and it's just not here, right? And they really want me to do stuff. So that's a triple. So I do commit to the triple. I'm just like, all right, I'll take the triple here, and put it on one of our utility drones. And then they're like, hey, there's a Deflecto. So there's a grease spot, but I don't really think grease spot's going to be a difference maker. But I take it anyways. I think the Manta Queen's better. I did just roll it, but I do think the Mantic Queen's better. It's not like I'm gonna keep either of them, I guess, but yeah. We were just rolling for Deflectos. I mean, rolling for Menaces. Just didn't hit it. Fortunately, this player does not have any Leroys or anything like that. He just has a big cleave. But it's not super big. Can't beat our huge beatboxer. So beatboxer just carrying. I mean, now our opponent knows that we do have a beatboxer. So, and he's pretty healthy. So I expect next game, I mean, next fight won't be like this. But he's not someone I'm super worried about, right? Because it's going to be really hard for him to outscale what we're doing. So I'm really focused on the Reno, but the Reno just lost his fight. So even him is not super impressive as well. So we're still just looking for Menace. Yeah, so we're just going to eat that. It's not important. We're still just rolling for Menace. We're just rolling for Menace. Like, it's crazy that we can't find any, actually. I mean, I don't think they go back into the lobby. Like if someone dies with the magnetized, those cards don't go back into the lobby. But I would be surprised if there wasn't anyone fully during our comp, so it should be possible to find them. So I decided, yeah, we're playing double utility drone. The magnetizers are still pretty good. That deflector is still a bait. It has not changed. I decided to take this just because it's something that makes our comp stronger. And I've already rolled like 20 gold, so I'm not going to, I'm not going to give up here. I'm just going to see if we can get ourselves stronger. Not hitting anything here, right? Like, okay, so we do get the payoff of getting the recovery. Sometimes you just think you're not going to get anything, but you can. So I think we just go full strength here. Yeah, just trying to go full strength, trying to play around some stuff. Didn't play around cleave. Oh, okay, play around cleave a little bit, but I guess we were too late on it. Finally a Menace, yeah. You can see, you can see. Let me see if I can show you. Look at that smile. So you can see, like, oh wow, I finally got it. Like, I'm rolling it down, but finally I get the Menace. Like, but yeah. So our opponent does have Leroy's, does have cleaves, but once again, he's not as big as we are, but he does have some problems, right? Fortunately enough, we were barely able to beat him, so he could have been an issue if he got to stay alive and really like adapt to our board states. But fortunately for us, he did not survive, so I find it hard for our last opponent to really deal with us, right? I think that's going to be a hard ask for our last opponent here. We're just really strong. We got a really good combo. Our quest wasn't super strong, but we were able to make it work. I think here I was just very confident. I was like, yeah, he can't beat us. Let's triple our deflecto because he can't win. That was the thought process there. I'm just kind of BMing. Now, if he recovers and beats us because of that, I will be. I mean, it'd be deserved. To be fair, it would be deserved. So, but the idea is like, okay, we finally got the resets. We finally got little pieces that we needed. So time to play our things out, right? We still have like 18 gold. We just have so much money. So we're just doing things. And it's just so we could play a boogie for tempo. So I'm just like trying to roll, trying to find stuff to buy, but it really doesn't matter. I just think we're really strong. I think it's going to be really hard for our opponent to find a way. So he agrees as well, right? He just looks at the previous fight he had with us and he's like, yeah, this isn't happening. Which is reasonable. Probably happy for the second. And we just had like a clean win, right? So we used Red Hand to kind of guide our direction. Committed to mechs because of it. And just got a lot of good pieces, got the deflector early, and was able to, I'm like moving around my seat, was able to get the clean win here. So, just a nice, smooth game. even though I wasn't super happy with my quest initially, I was eventually able to make it work out. So overall, that is the game. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked the review. If you like this content, let me know first of all, and click the follow button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your day. This is my outro for my other channel. He'll teach you tomorrow, snap. Your skills will be